nothing.
With no trace of Mike anywhere near his home, investigators begin looking for accomplices.
We had considered, as in most deserted cases or AWOL cases, that there would be his whereabouts.
The Air Force brings in computer technicians to begin hunting for an electronic trail, checking Mike's email and search engines, and Wendy fully cooperates with their plan.
Can we take the hard drive?
Take whatever you need to find it.
At that time, we received consent from Wendy to mirror her hard drive so we could do a computer forensic search of that hard drive.
The analysis will take time to complete. So while they keep an eye on Wendy, investigators move on, turning to the other people close to Mike.
Do you think Mike is capable of desertion?
But when they ask his friends from the base if Mike might have deserted his post, they all have the same response.
There's absolutely no way Mike would do that.
That wasn't Mike. The guys that knew Mike knew he wasn't just going to take off and leave just to keep from deploying.
Mike's a solid guy.
It wasn't going to happen.
Experience tells investigators not to assume anything.
I never heard anything about that.
Just because they haven't said anything to any of their colleagues
I would have heard something.
doesn't mean they don't intend to desert.
Are you sure, but
People don't advertise that they're going to go AWOL, so we have to have an open mind about these kinds of matters.
What's interesting to investigators is what Mike has shared with his colleagues.
What do you know about his marriage?
I think they met at a bar back in Abilene.
Mike's friends tell them his marriage to Wendy didn't have what you would call a fairy tale beginning.
They found out that it was more of a, I wouldn't say a one-night stand, but more of a casual encounter.
You know, she got pregnant. You know, there wasn't a lot of time for them to get to know each other. You know, it was pretty quick.
Wendy.
They decided that they needed to track Wendy and see what that might lead them to.
Operating under federal guidelines for military cases, Air Force investigators begin monitoring both Wendy and her parents' movements, placing GPS trackers on their cars. When the information is analyzed, Wendy's parents' trackers show nothing unusual. But Special Agent Harner's team does. When he reaches the property, Special Agent Harner is stunned by who he finds there.
She was standing outside the car, trying to operate the lock on the gate. Wendy said to me, "What are you all doing out here?" I replied, "Wendy, what are you doing here?"
I have to feed my horses.
She said, "I'm going to go into the gate now." And I said, "Wendy, you're not going anywhere."
Wendy gets back in her car, and a short time later, she leaves. Special Agent Harner lets her go. He stays at the ranch gate, determined to guard it. A few hours later, San Angelo.
Hello, Mr.
The
Severance.
following day, investigators talk to Mike's family in Maine to ask them about the marriage.
The marriage is okay. They have had some issues.
What kind of issues?
The Severances claim that although things had moved quickly between Mike and Wendy, if Mike had any complaints about his life in San Angelo, it was not with his wife,
He has had a hard time dealing with the family.
but his in-laws.
Mike is from Maine, and I think they would prefer a local boy.
Wendy's parents, it's no secret, they didn't care for Michael. You could tell there was a certain vibe that maybe Mike wasn't good enough for their daughter.
For your time.
They were very protective of their family.